Hi guys, so I thought today I would do a quick little update video on all of the cats because there's been a lot going on with a lot of them. So I'm just gonna kind of do them in alphabetical order because that's the easiest way for me to write them down. So Asher, for some reason over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he seems to have a lot of anxiety and he's afraid to come. Like usually we just like go like this, like, oh come here Asher, like down low, and he'll come and he doesn't come to us. And a lot of times when we walk towards him he gets really skittish and runs away, which is really kind of concerning for me because that's the behavior that the shelter that he was rescued to, that he lived in for like 4 years, so that's the way he was when they first got him. But they were able to break him of it except for when it's around quick movements or brooms or vacuum and all that, and I talked about that in his video, but that's all was broken and he still had those few things, but like he was fine with us. But now he seems to spend more time away from us, and when we go to see him he sometimes comes, like it's not all the time, but it's kind of a little worrisome. So I think we're gonna take him to the vet and just have him checked to make sure there's nothing else going on, some underlying thing that's causing that. Next is Casper. I didn't talk about this in his video because he hasn't done it in like over a year, so I a little bit forgot about it, but he's starting to grind his teeth again, and when he does, like he sticks his tongue like, and then he's grinding his teeth, so he's biting his tongue. And we did take him to the doctor before, and they said like, because it can be a sign of like a brain tumor or like some pretty serious stuff, and they didn't think it was any of that, but by grinding his teeth he's going to loosen his teeth and he's going to end up losing his teeth. There's nothing we can do to stop that, because he's 13, so, or he'll be 13 this year, so like his teeth are starting to get old. So today I noticed it. I know my husband and I were watching TV about a week ago and we noticed it, but he was able to massage his jaw joint and get him to kind of stop. But this morning when I had him in the shower with me, getting the steam for the upper respiratory and the lungs condition that he has, and if you want to know more about that, you can either leave a question below or you can just watch his video. It's probably pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, please let me know. He was doing it, and he did it for like 10 minutes the whole time I was getting ready, and his tongue was up the whole time, and I massaged his jaw. It didn't work, so I called my husband. I said, do you know anything else I can do? And he said what he needs to do is he needs to eat something hard. And it's like you can't just like go to the food dish and be like, oh, eat this, Casper, because it's free fed, right? So he said don't give him wet food, because that's what I was thinking, like, oh, that'd be soft on his jaw. But he's like, no, when he's grinding his teeth, what the vet had said is that he needs like he's wanting to use his jaw. So I gave him treats like everyone treats, and that seems to have calmed it down, and I haven't seen it again today. But if he starts grinding his teeth all the time, we're going to have to take him back to the doctor, because even if it is just his teeth, he could hurt his jaw, he could break off teeth, so we need to keep an eye on that. So he'll probably have to go back to the doctor. Dawn was to the doctor. She's walking really weird, and I didn't know if it's because maybe she's lost a little bit more weight, because she's really scrawny. And I'm just seeing her hips more like when she walks, or if there was something going on with her bum, because it all kind of looked out of sorts. So we took her. They think she has hip dysplasia, or could have hip dysplasia. She's 12, or be 12 in September. And what they said, right, but the big thing, like by looking at her, she looks like she has hip dysplasia, but she jumps. She's walking. It looks weird, but it doesn't look painful. And she's not making any noise when she walks. She's still jumping. She's still playing. She's still able to twist and clean her hips, which, yes, is the spine, but touching the hip would get sore. So what they said is, let's just leave it for now. When you're petting her, just make sure you feel her hips, feel her legs every day. like not with a lot of pressure, but more pressure than you would just a pet. And if that becomes painful, or if she's not really walking, or jumping, or like we have stairs in our house, so if that becomes difficult for her, then bring her back. And they'll probably try to do cortisone injections into her hips, because it's kind of like what happens to humans when their hip dries out. That's the first stage of hip dysplasia. So if they put cortisone in there, there's liquid for the joint and the bone so that it's not rubbing against each other. But right now it just looks like she has it, but she's not showing really any other signs and symptoms. So that's a good thing, but that could happen. That could go downhill so quickly. And she's so tiny that if she stops moving around and playing and like eating, and she also has issues with the eating, right? She has like the throw up problems and stuff. Like, she doesn't have an ounce to lose, so I'm kind of concerned about that, but whatever. That's kind of where she's at. She'll just have to have her symptoms monitored. Dusky, as always, is fine. She's, yeah, not an issue. Midnight's lump that I talked about in her video, that's on her side, that kind of moves to her stomach, because it's kind of free floating a little bit, is getting much bigger. So she'll be going in for her blood work in the next couple of weeks. Get her full blood work done. So blood work, make sure the surgery can happen, because they don't anticipate it to be long, because it feels like it's just under the skin, but it may be longer. So they need to make sure that she's still healthy and everything, because she is 13, to make sure she's good for the surgery. And also some preliminary tests of levels in her blood that they'll then do again after, for the levels in the blood once they remove it. They're going to do that anyways, to make sure, I guess, the cells don't migrate or whatever. But it'll also be good to have those levels for if they take it out and test it, which they will test it, and they find something, then they'll have benchmark of what her levels of all the different things are before her surgery, and then they'll have it after anyways, because that's part of the treatment plan we have. And then if she needs to continue to get blood work, they'll have a base mark. So that's good. I mean, but she's still eating and drinking. She's still eating wet food every couple of days when I give it to her in her room. She's still like is walking fine and stuff like that. You can touch it, that's not an issue. But the weird thing is that she's out even when my husband's home, and like she's like, her and my husband are like this. She wants to go into her room like every hour and a half, and she wants to be in there for like 2 or 3 or 4 hours, which is change of behavior for her, is very unusual. Usually, like, she's fine staying there overnight. She doesn't scratch or anything. If we're gone during the day, she doesn't scratch the carpet or anything. But when she can come out, she wants to stay out. And then if she does go back, because it seems like she's conditioned to that, that's where her litter box is, that's where her food is. But, like, I'll go upstairs, put her in her room. I wait 10-15 minutes, open the door, and she's right at the door ready to run out. And that hasn't been the case in the last couple weeks. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's connected to her being sick, or if that's just, I don't know, she's like in her room more. I don't know if someone has attacked her that we don't know about, so she's afraid to be out. With her, it could be a whole host of things. But other than that, her behavior is fine. She, like when I go in and use my computer, which is where I post my videos from, she just sits on the bench beside me and just purrs her brains out. So I think she's fine, but it's just a weird change of behavior. Sam, besides the Stein is he's fine. Still getting his drops. We're going to have to do something to try to break the sty, though, because it is getting bigger. It doesn't appear to be affecting his vision, so that's a very good thing. But like when you look at him, you can't see it. And like he's not bumping into things and stuff. But for humans, what you do is you would put like a hot compress on it, and the vet said that's not gonna hurt. Like a hot compress is not gonna hurt him. And he's a pretty chill cat, but I don't know how he's gonna react to putting a compress on his face. But I am gonna try that this weekend and see if I can get it to just break or even lessen or something, like because they said like his kind, it should, if the heat works, it will make it not so hard so you can manipulate it and kind of get the fluid to come out. So I'm not sure how that's gonna go. And Twilight, I mean, we only see her a few hours a day. She seems fine and good. So that's all of them. So yeah, we have a few cats with some change in behavior, a few cats with some new, or no, one cat with a new health condition, Dawn. 2 cats going through what they've been going through all along. Midnight, I will do a video on Midnight once she has her surgery and we know what's going on. Yeah, but I just wanted to do a little update on all the cats because there's been a bunch of changes. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, leave them below. And if you like this video, then please subscribe to my channel and check out some of the other videos that I posted. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.